Crazy Talks with Wise People. This is our August edition, and thank you so much for being with us today. It's a springtime. Wow, beautiful day with a beautiful guest, or handsome guest, rather. Well, our guest is imported from the US, and he's a very, very good resource person pertaining to international law. You know why? Because he is an international criminal lawyer, and he was admitted to the list of assistants to counsel at the International Criminal Court. He is also co-founder and CEO of Global Justice Intelligence ICE Incorporated. And he is an adjunct professor of law at the Case Western Reserve University of Law in Pennsylvania, right?
Cleveland, Ohio.
In Ohio. Thank you
Cleveland.
so much, Sir Doctor. Welcome, welcome. Lawyer. Okay. Wow. We have
Thank
a
you.
very respectable guest for today. As you know, Crazy Talks with Wise People is a show known for creditable guests. Thank you, sir. Please greet our audience.
Thank you, Dr. Angela Murray. I really appreciate your introduction. And I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful podcast. I say hello to all overview here.
You sound like French, huh? You sound
All right, because I have French background. That's why.
you're French speaking. All right. So
Right,
yes,
French speaking.
because yes, you're an international lawyer. I mean, wow. It's like wow. How can you memorize all the laws of the world?
We try our best.
Ah, okay. Now, because you're involved in ICC or International Criminal Court, we would like to know more about, the International Criminal Court. What are the key functions and objectives of the International Criminal Court? We just wonder, because, what is it? What is it? What does it do really? Is it really relevant?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
International Criminal Court has been created 2008 and then enter into force 2022, July 2022.
Mhm.
That court has been established
Mhm.
to deter international crimes.
Mhm.
After World War II,
Mhm.
1945,
Mhm.
we all know what happened
Mhm.
before 1945.
Mhm.
We know why the Nuremberg Tribunal has been created.
Ah.
This court, this court, this court has been created
Mm.
by following the spirit of Nuremberg courts. But the Nuremberg court has limitation because its
Mm.
jurisdiction only focus on what happened in Germany, the atrocity
Mm.
crime after Hitler atrocity crime.
Mm. Mhm.
Now this court, the international community decided to create this court to extend the jurisdiction over the world
Mm.
so that any international crime can be prosecuted, investigated fairly, and prosecuted fairly. So the key function is to hold accountable any alleged perpetrators of international crimes and then give justice to victims all over the world.
All right, very noble. Thank you. Well, how does it differ? How does the ICC's jurisdiction differ from that of the national courts? If there's
Yeah,
ICC and there's these national courts, how does it differ now?
yeah, ICC only intervenes when national courts are not willing or they're incapable to prosecute international crimes. But the difference here, ICC only focus on crimes against humanity, war crimes, genocide, and crime of aggression. But this court does not substitute to national courts. It's just a complementarity. When
Yeah.
national courts are incapable, they don't want to prosecute any atrocity crime
All
happen
right.
in their territory, then
Oh,
ICC can decide
I
to,
gotcha.
all right, to, to prosecute, to investigate, prosecute any international crimes falling into its jurisdiction.
All right. So if the president is very weak and the judiciary system of a country is weak and they cannot prosecute their own citizen, then that's a time that they have to resort to ICC.
Of course.
Okay,
But
I have to say this boldly. Then President Marcos of the Philippines is weak because he's not able to prosecute his own citizen in his own country.
then ICC can prosecute
And that's why
those crimes
ICC took over because
over.
Marcos is a lame duck president. I'm saying this. Yeah, it's true. I mean, um, because like deducing from what you said that national the well ICC is just a supplementary, then if there's no, like what you said, nothing can what do you call that, nothing can take over, the
Yeah, when
supremacy of the national courts. Now
right,
if the national court is weak or does not want to prosecute its citizen because it's weak, it's a lame duck, and it doesn't have teeth, to promulgate or to enact any of those laws, then they resort to ICC.
exactly, that
And that
ICC
is
can
a sign of
complement.
a very weak president. All
All
right.
right, that ICC can intervene because the alleged crimes committed falling into ICC jurisdiction.
Thank you for that very enlightening information. So, if the president is a jellyfish, that he cannot prosecute his own citizen in his own country, then he cries, like a little puppy. He cries to ICC for help. All right, there you go.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
for that information. All right. Now, what types of crimes fall under the ICC's jurisdiction? This is very interesting because, some people are confused. Like, oh, they say like, oh, ICC's jurisdiction is only on crimes of war, crimes of humanity. How about Kim Jong-un? Can they prosecute Kim Jong-un?
That's an
Right.
interesting question. Yeah, ICC, as I mentioned earlier, ICC only focus on war crimes, crimes against humanity, a genocide and crime of aggression.
Mhm.
But the point here sometimes is difficult because ICC can have jurisdictions when one of a state party is victim of international crime like that, or one of a
Mm.
national of a state party
What do you mean by state
commits.
party, sir?
Right now we got ICC, we got many countries.
Yeah.
Their party, they sign the Rome Statute, they
Mm-hmm.
ratify the Rome Statute, and they say
Mm-hmm.
we are party of ICC, we are member of the Rome Statute of
Mm-hmm.
ICC
Mm-hmm.
because ICC has been established, under the Rome Statute. That's the statute, the treaty of ICC
What
of
is
the
Rome
courts.
statute?
The Rome Statute is the treaty,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
funding treaty of international court.
Mm-hmm.
That treaty is legislate the court, regulate the court, how the
Mm-hmm.
court can work, how the court can function, what type of crimes the court can prosecute, investigate, prosecute. So it's the treaty creating the court. That's the Rome Statute. But we say
Ah.
The Rome Statute of ICC. That's the treaty. So today
Oh.
we got many countries, more over than 125, over 125 countries sign and ratify that treaty, the Rome Statute.
Mm-hmm.
Say we are party of the court. So if any international crimes occur in our territory,
Mm-hmm.
ICC now you have jurisdiction over us.
Ah. Okay. Is USA a member of ICC?
US is not member. That's why it's difficult for ICC to, you know, exercise jurisdiction over state. Uh, yeah, those states
Mm.
are not member state of the Rome Statute. The state does not sign the Rome Statute. That's the problem we have today with ICC.
Mm.
Even if it's like Philippines, but Philippines was a member of ICC.
Yeah, but the
Philippines
Philippines
signed
doesn't
the
need
Rome Statute.
ICC though.
Now Philippines withdraw from ICC,
Yes.
but does not stop ICC to have jurisdiction over alleged crimes committed when Philippines was a member of ICC.
Oh, yeah, all right. But the why should ICC decide on behalf of the citizens of a country? Because if the citizens of the country, for example, like the case of Duterte, the Philippines was so much at peace. Majority of the citizens love it. There was peace in the airport. A lot of That's why he's well loved by Filipinos, and this minority of the people who don't like him are those people who were not able to manipulate him because he does not he does not accept payolas, he does not bribe, he was a very straight president, and if peace and order in a certain country, I mean, I'm not condoning whatever he did, or I'm not even sure if he really did it. So, in the case of Duterte, ICC should because ICC should listen to the people of the Philippines. If not, then they will be undemocratic because they're supposed to be democratic, right? So if
Yeah,
democracy is for the people, then they should listen to the cries of the majority of the Filipino people and not on the politicians who and because that's politically motivated. It is politically motivated. Now, my next question is, how would ICC determine that a case is politically motivated?
uh, this is a about justice, and
Mm-hmm.
that is we not only justice but international justice.
Mm-hmm.
This is not about politics.
Yeah, but
Is
how
it,
can?
it?
Because Marcos is politically motivated. Even the sister of the president, the incumbent president right now, is filing cases against those who sent Duterte to the Hague without due process. She is filing a case now against those military officers and even against a foreign minister and against the Supreme Court justice. Um, um, what well what I have in mind is if ICC really upholds democracy, then ICC should listen to the people and not to the political leaders, because Marcos now is really trying to eradicate all the Dutertes before 2028. This is this is the what we're seeing now. It's like, oh yeah, persecuting um everyone that's pro Duterte has a case in court, or they either investigate. There's so much chaos. This is political. So
Okay.
how would ICC investigate the internal affairs of a country to be fair?
Yeah. Most people might think justice sometimes is political, but we as lawyers, we're not thinking that way. We're not thinking about political issue. We think about victims. What happened? We think about victim rights, and we think about justice. So the point here is, it there any international crimes or atrocity crimes falling into ICC jurisdiction? Yes. If yes, then ICC will have jurisdiction over the suspect or the defendant or the alleged perpetrators, because Philippines or the state where the crimes, international crime occur,
Mm-hmm,
was member of ICC.
mm-hmm.
Philippines was a member of ICC before the alleged crime happened. So that means Philippines were people, Philippine people gave a jurisdiction right or privilege to ICC when they
Yeah, but it was
signed
only
and
the weak
ratified.
president who does that. The weak president did it.
Yeah, ICC will not focus on who signed or who did not. Only thing ICC we look for in this case, a Philippine was member of ICC before the alleged crime happened. Yes or no? That's the question.
Well, the alleged crime happened. It's an alleged crime because there are now witnesses who are coming out to the open and um, uh, telling us that they were, what do you call that? They were forced to witness. They were even kidnapped. There's one incident of a woman kidnapped by and another man, and they'd give millions to these people to testify. And all these are politicians. All these are politicians actually. So this is politics. So much dirt, right? So much dirt.
Yeah, we will see the evidence. ICC,
Mm.
the prosecutor has, against the alleged perpetrator. That's the point. Everything is about evidence.
But
The ICC cannot.
sorry for interrupting. I'd be very happy if they can apprehend the Kim Jong Un.
I understand your
If they can, if because Duterte did not do anything wrong. He saved the Filipinos from criminals. We were proud when he was president. because he stood
ICC
up for the
does not
country.
decide yet.
But if I think Kim Jong-un is doing injustice to his own citizens. They're poor. They've got no education. During the time of Duterte, all public schools are tuition fee free. Yes.
Yeah.
And now, during the Marcos administration, he removed the budget for health and education. No budget for health and education. No, so I'm just, as a private citizen and as an observer now, because I'm out of the country. Between Duterte and Kim Jong-un, I think if it's true, allegedly, we've been hearing a lot about, human rights violations, of course, dire human rights violations done by Kim Jong-un. How can ICC not apprehend Kim Jong-un? Between Duterte's and alleged crime of Duterte and this alleged crime of Kim Jong-un, oh my gosh, it's like Duterte doesn't even have 1% of this crime done by Kim Jong-un to his citizens. How come the ICC cannot apprehend Kim Jong-un?
The point right now, Duterte is not yet found guilty for what happened in that period. ICC has not decided anything about that case yet. He is a suspect, and then he will become accused after investigation. Everything he will become accused, and then the case will go to trial, and we will see what will happen.
Yeah, if
After
they
the
will
decision, because right now there is no decision, any decision about the case, so we cannot say he's guilty or he's not.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if they will prosecute Duterte, they should prosecute Kim Jong-un first. Yeah, to be
We
fair,
will see.
to be fair, to be fair, because like what we were saying, they're well, killing with his own whims without any crimes or without any disturbance done to his own city, to the North Koreans. He just killed people at his own whim. That is a crime, really. But
Yeah.
killing people to protect your own citizens, I'm not even sure if he really did it.
Yeah, Kim Johnson, I think you're talking about Korea, right? Korea, Korea, North of, North Korea, right? Yeah, they are not member of ICC. That's the problem we have.
That's
So
it.
ICC cannot have
You
a
see?
jurisdiction directly over Kim Jong because his country is not member of ICC. You know,
Oh, then I
that
will encourage all the countries not to be a member of ICC then, because it's not fair.
yeah, that's the point. For example, in Sudan, you see Sudan.
Oh, Sudan, you're right.
Sudan
Mm.
is not member of ICC, but how ICC have jurisdiction over what happened over President Bashir,
Yes.
Omar Bashir, the
Mm.
ex-president, former president of Sudan
Mm.
in Darfur.
Mm.
How? Because the situation has been referred to ICC by UN Security Council.
Mm.
That means when a state or country is not part of ICC, is not member of the Rome Statute or the court,
Yeah.
the United Nations Security Council can refer the situation to ICC, say, hey, ICC, I give you jurisdiction over the defendant over what happened in this country because it's international crimes.
Okay.
That is another way ICC can have jurisdiction over, alleged perpetrators, those who commit international crimes. Another way, state members, the country members of ICC can refer the situation to ICC, say we are member of ICC, but you see what happened in this country, we refer the situation to you so that you can have jurisdiction over
You know what?
what happened. It is the case in Ukraine.
Yeah, you know
Ukraine,
what?
the
You
case,
know, yes, Doc.
Ukraine situation has been referred to ICC by state, state parties to the Rome Statute. That's the point.
You know what,
Yeah.
sir? Isn't it funny? Because justice is just meted out to the powerless, while the powerful, they roam around with their guilt in their shoulders and they with chin up, you know. And if look at the United Nations, but there's so much war in the world. What is the United Nations? I mean, what's the United Nations role now? It's a lame duck organization. United Nations, but cannot unite nations. They can only mete out judgment to the weak countries, to the poorer countries. They cannot stop war. So what is the United Nations for?
Yeah, I understand what you are saying. That is another level about political, diplomatic,
Mm,
everything. So, well, I will only focus on international justice related to ICC, ITC duty over international crime. So we know United Nations, there are ICG, International Court of Justice there, but that is not criminal court. It try to resolve dispute between states,
mm,
but it's not international criminal court.
mm.
The only international criminal court we have right now, which is permanent, is International Criminal Court based in Hague, we call ICC.
Ah,
You know,
this ICC, I think they really need to, I don't know, forgive me.
is a young court. We know is is not like a ICJ, but I believe ICC will overcome if
Mhm.
it has a lot of support. The problem it does not have support from
Yeah, so it has to close.
some big states, some big country like the United States of America is not party of ICC. Russia is not party of ICC. India is not party of ICC. China is not party of ICC. That's the problem we have today.
That's
If all
why.
those,
Yeah, that's why
right,
they're trying their best to prove themselves so that maybe, the powerful countries would like to be a member of ICC, right?
right. So the point, if they are not a party of ICC, is not easy. It will be so difficult for ICC to have jurisdiction over their nation if
You
they
know what?
commit any alleged crime, international crimes.
You speak French and English too, right? So
Mhm.
it's fit for you to be in ICC. I watched the first appearance of former President Duterte, and there's this French woman who cannot even speak English and cannot even, it's unethical actually to. That's why uh before we started with our podcast, I asked you how to pronounce her name. She cannot even pronounce Duterte's surname because she's French. And I was thinking, wow, how can she try an English speaking person and she cannot even understand English and she thrives by 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 um by an interpreter. I said language itself is already a barrier. And how come she's there? I mean, I hope ICC should consider that because language is very important. And even,
Yeah.
even the idiosyncrasies of the language. Like, for example, the language of Duterte, he grew up in Mindanao. I mean, Mindanao, it's like, it's like, the US. It's like the F you, the fuck you, this word is like a simple thing for them. I mean, you know that in the US, right? Like you
Yeah.
say
That,
fuck you to your friend, right? You say that word to your friend. I'm not saying it's right. I don't do that, and I don't even say that word. But in Mindanao, that province where President Duterte grew up, they it's like a kind of um a language. It's like a language. It's like for him, it's nothing, and it's the same thing as the idiosyncrasies of the language. French and Visayan language are two are two distinct languages, and they wouldn't even have anything in common. So a French who cannot understand English cannot prosecute or cannot stand as a prosecutor for someone who speaks English. That's my opinion, because language is very important.
yeah. I think the language is not barrier for ICC because the ICC work in many, many different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Arabic, Spanish, eh, French, English, and some African local languages. So that's why they have interpret there. So the language is not the issue.
No, but I mean, I studied linguistics actually. The thing is, in language, just a little um twist changes its total meaning. That's why it's even best, it's best, and it's, I think, just that Africans must be tried. And if an African speaks English, then a person must, the trial lawyer or whoever involved in that case must speak English. Or it's good that you're French. So French speaking people must be tried, and everybody rather involved in that the proceedings must also speak French or the language that the accused speaks, to give justice to it. Just just just
They
just my
they
opinion.
do that. They have a lawyer because everything is a legal team. In the legal
Mhm.
team, they have a lawyer who speak the defendant language. So that's not a barrier or a big issue for ICC.
Oh yeah, but for those people who understand language, like the woman who cannot even pronounce Duterte's surname, that's unethical. You don't go on air, telling people their surnames and names without you trying to find out how to pronounce. That is basic disrespect to a person. You know that. You're a lawyer. That you're a lawyer, you know that. It was like, oh my goodness, this woman cannot even pronounce Duterte's surname. Why would she not ask people before even coming out? At least, if you said like, okay, Duterte does not have money because it's not supported by, powerful states, then I don't know where it thrives right now. So they might have a hard time getting lawyers there now. So they only have these French lawyers who cannot speak English, and so they've got this interpreter. Maybe I'm not sure. Um, but if I were in ICC, I would really suggest that English speaking lawyers must be with English speaking clients. They must be there. French speaking must be tried by French speakers, so that it will be easy. The, I think, if you speak the language from your heart, it would be easier for you to express yourself from your heart, right? You're a lawyer.
Correct. Well, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I think the defendant has the right to choose his lawyer. That's the point.
Yeah, but does he have the right to choose the prosecutor?
No, the prosecutor is for international community. So
Yeah, of
no,
course,
right?
yes. I have funny questions. You think I'm very funny? You know, don't you think? Oh, so now I understand. So ICC is standing on its own, trying to finance its own, trying to finance its own. But is UK part of the ICC?
Right.
So
UK
UK
is part of
part,
ICC.
France.
UK is part of the ICC, right?
How about France,
France is
Germany,
part of ICC.
Germany?
Germany, yeah, I believe Germany is part of ICC. Belgium is part of ICC. Yes.
So most European countries, Spain.
Right, they're part of ICC.
Mhm. So how about Latin America? How about Canada? Is it a part of ICC?
Yeah, Canada is part of ICC.
Mm-hmm.
They support international justice.
Okay. All right. So Canada is a part, but USA, Russia, China,
China, India, Korea, they are not part of
South
ICC.
Korea is not a part of ICC.
No,
North, oh no, 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 because there are two Koreas, North and South. So
both,
both. Oh,
both,
both.
they are not part of
Oh,
ICC.
all right. Well, South Korea is very, very rich. And how about Japan? Is it a part of ICC?
No, no, I will check, but I don't believe Japan is a no Asian country. Like, Japan
So
is
BRICS is not a part of ICC.
not part of
Ah, okay. All right then. Oh, thank you for that information. I didn't know that.
ICC. No problem.
Is this a part of Hague International Court?
Please say
Like,
again.
wait, there are two courts, right? Hague Inter like when two countries do have two countries are what do you call that? Like try one country suing another country. Is it also done in ICC or is it in it's the court is also in Hague, but is it
Yeah,
ICC?
the court is right. Yeah, ICC. You are talking about ICC, right?
No, I mean I think ICC is for individuals, but for countries that are at odds with each other, where
You are talking about International Court of Justice, ICJ.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, ICJ is not try individual like ICC, but it's not criminal courts. But
Uh-huh.
it's recto, yeah, it's business.
Okay. So are you also into that? How complicated your work is? Your your work is so complicated.
Yeah, it's not really complicated because this is just is an international crime, or
Mm.
international justice, criminal justice. When we talk about international criminal justice, we are talking about war crimes, we are talking about genocide, we are talking about crime of aggression, we are talking about crime against humanity. When it
Okay.
comes to ICC,
You go to ICC.
yeah.
Are there any? Oh, okay. Actually, I'm learning a lot from you, and I'm sure our listeners will be learning a lot from you too. Thank you so much. I became so emotional. I'm so sorry. It wasn't meant to be. It was it. I just got triggered because that was what I was guessing. Like why should yeah, that is also one of the discourses that are that are being that Filipinos actually are also talking about. Um, like okay, so Duterte was handed over by Marcos because he's so weak, so lame duck to prosecute Duterte in the homeland. I mean, so when you said like, oh, if the government cannot, it triggered because I said, oh, so we are right, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
All
If
right.
if the country no one prosecute, ICC can prosecute. If ICC have jurisdiction over the defendant.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for confirming that.
No problem.
So how does the ICC work with national governments to ensure cooperation and support for its investigations and prosecutions? If
Yeah.
if the national government will not cooperate with ICC, then ICC cannot do anything about a national case, right?
Yeah, that's difficult. That's the issue we have right now. Issue ICC have. right now because some country, like to cooperate.
Mm,
For
mm,
example, you see a Palestine and Israel
mm-hmm,
situation.
mm,
You see, if Israel does not cooperate with ICC, it will not be easy for ICC to investigate what happened,
mm,
in
mm, mm,
Palestine.
mm,
Why?
yeah.
That's not easy. It's
Mm,
sometimes it's like what happened a decade ago with former president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir.
mm-hmm,
When ICC issued the warrant, arrest warrant, as to arrest Omar al-Bashir, South Africa denied. South Africa didn't do it, didn't comply with the arrest warrant decision. But South Africa is member of ICC,
mm-hmm,
but Omar al-Bashir was in territory of ICC,
mm,
of South Africa.
mm-hmm,
So it is the duty of South Africa to arrest Omar al-Bashir and then send him to ICC because ICC does not have a law enforcement, police officer, or army.
mm,
His police officer or law
yeah.
enforcement is a state members.
Mm,
So yeah, it comes to state members to execute
mm,
any decision or
mm,
arrest warrant from ICC. But sometimes it's difficult, they don't do it. That's
mm-hmm.
the issue we have right now about
Yeah, so it's really
international justice.
the
Right.
cooperation of a lame duck president that
All right.
brings its citizen to ICC.
Right. They know
Oh,
not do it
thank you.
sometimes.
It's just so clear, crystal clear the way you explained it. I love you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate
So, without the cooperation
it. Mm,
of the national government, ICC cannot breach into the sovereignty of a certain country.
exactly.
So, ICC cannot kidnap anyone from within a country
Now,
unless they're given permission by
by the state of
a
the
filibuster. I mean,
right.
filibuster.
If Philippines is like in Philippines, if Philippines
Yeah, if Marcos
does
did not
not
say
cooperate,
yes,
ICC
then
can do anything.
yeah. Ah,
So is everything is about cooperation. Is a teamwork.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the fault of ICC that Duterte is in Hague.
No,
Yeah, it was the will of the
state.
of the president,
All right.
the judiciary government. So
Exactly.
Filipinos don't get angry at ICC. Get angry with Marcos. He was the one who filibustered. Oh, he was the traitor to Duterte. Because as a president, for me, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, he's not a traitor. I retract. You know, I'm speaking to a lawyer. Forgive me, Marcos. You're not a traitor. Sorry, forgive me. I retract that statement. It's not being a traitor. It was, I think, it was, I don't know, maybe fear or I don't know, but it is to me a sign of being a lame duck president because for me as a president, you have to protect your people, even if the past president, the future president, the rich and the poor, everybody is your is you have to oversee and you have to love your the people within your country. um and
Yeah.
I don't know, for
Yeah,
me.
I understand. I think the president does not want to breach. He don't want any breach. I would say international legal obligation breach.
Mhm,
He don't want to violate his international legal obligations because the legal obligation he has is under the principle we call pacta sunt servanda. That
mhm,
means what? When you sign any treaty, you are binding for to that treaty, to sign the Rome Statute. Rome Statute is ICC treaty. So that means you accept the treaty, and then you will do your duty under international law by respecting your obligation, legal obligation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, but respecting the legal obligation, I think, to ICC is objective. Oh no, is subjective, because if if just my humble opinion, if ICC is really needed, how come some countries don't even need them? So I it's one of those arguments I have in my mind right now. If these countries don't even need them, why should I need them? It's like eating an apple. If if no one finds apple, like if these people that I respect don't even need apple, supply them with vitamin C, why should I? you know so why should Philippines even subject themselves to ICC when USA, India, the BRICS, you know don't even subject themselves to ICC? It's just one of my contentions. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Okay, so sir, I might be wrong. I'm sorry. I mean, so
No, you're fine.
I'm fine. Okay. Did
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so well, this is just really me, I just pouring out what I have, and thank you for supplying us with this information. So now then, Filipino people, don't get angry at ICC and don't get angry at Marcos. Just do something. Votation is coming, so just vote for the right person who can protect the citizens of the country, and then and not be lame duck enough, and stand up to his to the principles, values of the Filipino people. But sir, okay, now going back to the international court. So now it's clear that we cannot blame them for not apprehending Kim Jong-un, because Kim Jong-un, North Korea, is not a part of ICC.
Right.
Okay, how about
And it will
Nigeria?
be
How about
difficult.
Uganda? How about Kenya? Are these countries part of ICC?
You say Uganda?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Uganda. I think Uganda case at ICC. I think it was the part of the first case we have. Yeah, in ICC. So, Kenya, they are not part. I think the case has been referred to ICC
What happened?
about the Kenya situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the prosecutor decided to, by the principle of a proper mutu, to investigate what happened in the situation.
The Burkina Faso. Is Burkina Faso a part of ICC too?
I don't know. I don't have any idea right now. Maybe I will check if Burkina Faso is part of ICC or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if Burkina Faso is part of ICC, and then they commit international crimes, ICC will have jurisdiction over
Mm.
the situation.
How about Nigeria?
Nigeria, I don't know if Nigeria is part of it. If
No,
Nigeria is part of ICC, ICC will have jurisdiction over any Nigerian national.
I see. Okay, so then, thank you for enlightening me about ICC. So then, ICC is not compulsory. ICC, I think, is for those countries who really need help, and where those countries are so weak that they cannot prosecute their own citizens, maybe, as
Right.
what it was said. So if I were the president of a country, I would maybe, I would strengthen my judiciary so that I don't, I strengthen my judiciary to give pride to my people and not resort to an international court.
Yeah. Right. If you accept, you sign the treaty, the Rome Statute as country, and you ratify the treaty, doesn't mean you invite ICC in your country. If any of your citizens commit international crimes falling into ICC jurisdiction, so ICC will have jurisdiction. Doesn't mean what? For example, France is part of ICC, right? United States is not part of ICC.
Mm-hmm.
But if any US citizen
Mm-hmm.
commits international crimes in French territory, ICC will have jurisdiction over that person, the US
Uh-huh.
citizen.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of
Because what happened, the
mm-hmm.
crime
Mm-hmm.
has been occurred in
Mm-hmm.
territory of France
Mm-hmm.
that is part of ICC.
Ah, okay. And the last question is, you are you are an international criminal lawyer admitted to the list of assistants to the counsel at the International Criminal Court. Um, what do you do in ICC? Will you be the next director, or what do you call it, the head of ICC?
I have been just admitted to ICC last year, might be about 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm not part of any case right now over there. But if ICC needs me to be
They
part
can
of
call you
any,
up and you can
yes,
go and be one
I
of the
will go.
prosecutors there.
Yeah, but be admitted to the list means you are able to practice before that court. You are able to go assist any counsel or, or represent victim or assist victim over before ICC is what that means. But
Ah, so
ICC
you
also
can
can
be
call.
like you're an accredited lawyer for ICC. Is that the right word? You're an accredited lawyer, or
Yeah, accredited lawyer. Why? Accredited
mm,
lawyer. Yeah, to practice before ICC because every lawyer cannot practice before ICC.
yes,
You have
yes.
to be admitted to the list of assistant or the list of counsel. To be admitted to the list of assistant, you need minimum 5 years experience in the field, or you need to be lawyer in your home country, attorney, and admit to practice, or be expert in international law, or be professor teaching.
You're a professor in
All
yeah, you're a
right.
professor of law. But sir, I mean doctor and lawyer, you're a genius. You've got a lot of real titles. I like you because you've got real titles, not all these fake titles of doctor, attorney, and nothing. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're a real doctor and a real attorney and a real doctor and a real lawyer. Okay. But USA is not a member of ICC.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
can you
Mm.
still practice as an American? Can you still practice in ICC?
Right. That's a great question. That's a very, very good question. Yes,
Mm.
I can. There are a lot of many American lawyer practicing before ICC right now. Their
Ah.
counsel, they're working in prosecutor office too. So
Mm.
that there is no barrier for that. But ICC, no, no focus on origin or no discrimination. You can be part of ICC even if your country is not a member of ICC.
Ah, okay. So it's
Yeah.
still advantageous to your career.
All right. So that you are fighting for justice. You are fighting for justice. So it's part of your career. That's no have nothing to do about nationality or origin or race. No. Anyone expert in field can be part of ICC, even if you're from Philippines.
Mm. I'm a
Right.
frustrated lawyer. I'm just too old to study law. I think you can see it, right? Frustrated lawyer in me.
Right.
But anyways, you know what? There are many questions I still need to ask, but we're running out of time.
Okay, yeah, we have a few. Yeah.
Maybe we can have part two of this if you still have time.
Okay.
Oh, you're very busy. Forgive me if I was sometimes emotional and brutally frank with
Oh,
you.
no, you're good. No worry about that. It's normal, right? It's normal. I understand you. It's normal.
All right, you're an American, so you know what democracy means, right? Okay.
Why?
Right. Okay. So because in the Philippines right now, all vloggers who are pro Duterte are being called in Congress and are called and with they have all cases right now. Yes. So for fake news, or I don't know what fake news or whatever, but I think both some people, these vloggers, you know, they both have fake news, but at least with Duterte, maybe just a little fake news. Just a little fake news maybe. Well, with Marcos, I don't know much about his government, but what I'm seeing right now is chaos. What
I
I'm seeing
see.
right now is chaos, yes. Which I have not seen during the Duterte administration. Yes.
Yeah, I think about the situation. I think he has his own lawyers, and they will give,
Kaufman. Do you know
yeah, no,
Kaufman?
they will provide him a good defense, I believe,
Mm,
because it's their job to protect his rights. It also is ICC job to protect the defendant rights. So I believe everything will be fine if they, follow the procedures correctly.
mm.
So I'm not part of the case. I don't have any idea about how the
Yes, yes,
case
yes.
is going.
Or else you will not
So
be able to speak with me if you're part of the case.
now, if I'm part of the case, I will not be able to
You will not be able to
talk
speak, of
about it,
course.
for
Yeah.
confidential issues. So
Mm,
I'm not
mm,
part of the case. So I
mm,
don't know how it's going over there. Only thing I'm interested in is a victim rights. I
mm.
say, yeah,
Oh,
victim need
you're very,
justice.
you're very lovable as a person. You're very charismatic. You might be the next president of the US.
Oh, no. U.S. Constitution will not allow me to be president because to be present in US as a US citizen, you have to be born, here
I have to
in
be,
the
oh
United
yeah.
States.
Oh,
But
really?
I was not, but I was born in Benin. I has
Oh
been
no, but
naturalized
I
US
think
citizen.
Obama was born in Kenya.
No, Obama was born here. Mother, I
Oh.
think his mother might be from Kenya or his father. Some of them.
Okay. All right. So I have to say thank you to you. This is the most enjoyable interview I ever had.
No problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
And I appreciate you too. And I look forward to our partnership, with my school
Yeah,
and with
mm,
Women of Wisdom. I hope
no problem.
I hope I
Yeah.
carried myself today as a wise woman.
Okay, no problem. Anytime, just reach out to me. So you got my phone number, my WhatsApp.
Mm,
So
mm,
you got my email too. So
mm. Oh,
LinkedIn,
mm,
I no chat too much on LinkedIn.
yeah.
If it come to confidentiality because there is no privacy, you know. So when it comes to confidentiality, I prefer, communicate
Right.
via
Mm,
email or
email.
WhatsApp. But WhatsApp also is not too secure anyway, but
Yeah, you're a
yeah.
lawyer, that's why. Yeah. Okay, this is what. Okay, so shall we say goodbye to our viewers? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This, as you've noticed, I've been like so serious with, but this is the most enjoyable interview I have ever had. Thank you so much, Dr. Attorney Denampon Tchobo.
Thank you, Dr. Angela Mari.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. To summarize, according to him, you've already heard, um, ICC will not have any jurisdiction over a country unless the national government allows them to access into the citizens of the country. Number two, according to our guest, there are a lot of countries who are non-members of ICC. So ICC members think twice. But anyways, I wish you the best of everything, and I wish us both, with whatever it is that we are going to work on in the future, I wish us the best, blessings from God. All right. So would you like to say goodbye to our viewers?
Thank you to everyone. Thank you for your time and goodbye.
Thank you too. Bye for now. And
Bye-bye.
see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.